The life in Phuket as a digital nomad. For a long time now, Phuket has been one of the top destinations for backpackers and digital nomads according to Nomadlist and other vlogs and resources. So, we came here to test it out and give you our insight. Nomadlist.com gives green scores for ratings on quality of life, cost, internet, temperature, safety, lack of crime, places to work from, lack of racism, and friendly environment. There are yellow or OK scores for happiness, AC, LGBT friendliness, education, fun, and air quality. And there are some red scores for things like traffic safety, English speaking, nightlife, and income level. I'm going to give you my opinion on these scores through my experience here in Phuket. However, do keep in mind that my stay was limited to Patong and that I stayed only for a week. I'll start by saying that this is one of my favorite destinations in the whole world, especially as a digital nomad. But let me give you the details of my insight. We stayed at Home Bliss South Beach Patong Hotel. The hotel is pretty clean and comfortable. It is not super fancy, but it has a wonderful view and location. They also have a restaurant downstairs that has solid everyday food. We loved it there. The downside though is that the internet was quite weak, which was very inconvenient. This makes me want to give the internet access in the city a bad rating, but I don't know how the internet functions in other hotels. You tell me. We tried speaking to the management at the hotel, but they could not accommodate anything for us. So that's why we had to go to other places for internet sometimes, and I also had to use my phone data. So well, I don't know if my situation is the average experience with internet in the city, but at least from the Therapist Nomad YouTube, you're going to get an orange score, which is between yellow and red. I don't think the internet was great. To give you some context on the life of a digital nomad, I'm going to explain our daily routine, specifically in Asian time zones. That way you can assess if this lifestyle is for you. My morning routine is very short and simple. It consists of hygiene first, a very basic stretch, a 4-minute meditation, and most importantly, coffee. I'm usually working by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. After seeing a few clients, I get a break from 12 p.m. to 5 or 6 p.m. During those hours, we try to get in some physical activity or a city excursion and a big meal. This is very important because we do intermittent fasting. At 5 p.m., we are usually back to work mode until around 11 or midnight. And sometimes I have a break for a night snack or just some relaxation time. Once I'm done with work, I start my night routine and try to be in bed before 1 a.m. So just to emphasize on work hours, if you live in Asia, I think the best times to work with international clients is from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then again from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. But in my case, I do like and need my sleep, so I start work around 9 a.m. It's really up to you, but in my opinion, this routine I told you about works perfectly with Patong. Just because right outside of your hotel, you will find things to do to entertain yourself during your break and get like a real break, you know? One of my favorite things to do in the city of Patong is taking walks. Walking in Patong always felt safe. Everyone is very friendly, and yes, some people are pushy with their sales, but to a reasonable point. I never felt harassed or stressed with the street sellers. I would just say no thank you, keep walking, and that was just fine. So in terms of safety, I will give the city a green. Other points about walkability include the air quality, which to me seemed perfectly fine, and that comes from a person that's very sensitive to poor air quality. The traffic safety seemed better than other cities in Southeast Asia, definitely better than Bali or Vietnam, so I would give it a yellow score instead of a red score. I would keep friendliness at a green score since everyone seemed pretty welcoming. However, it's true that the English is not always great, but it's not terrible either, so I would give it a yellow score instead of a red score. Oh, one more factor to note is the weather. We visited during the rainy season, and honestly, it wasn't bad at all. It rained for 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon usually, and sometimes at night, but nothing that would really ruin your experience in Patong completely. Okay, so now let me give you details about what to do during your time of work. Besides beach walks, we also enjoyed hanging out at this wonderful place called Earn Coffee and Bistro. It's next to the hotel Ban Lamai Resort and Spa, which must be the best place to stay in Patong, and I will tell you why. This is the perfect spot for digital nomads. A bunch of places where to work. They are outdoors, but it's cool. I mean, there's a ceiling, so if it rains, you're gonna be okay. They have great restaurants here. They have a cafe that I love, and they also have another full restaurant that's a little bit pricey, I think, but it's good enough. Then the hotel is super pretty, and they have a gym. The rooms are super cute with balcony and all. The staff is amazing. They have a pool as well. Oh, also the internet is reliable, so that's a great thing that I don't have in my hotel. But you know, this is just a few blocks away, so we come here every day to work and eat and hang out and get beach views. 100% recommended. If you're a digital nomad, would you agree that this is a great spot to work at? But anyways, I promise you I do other things besides work. On days that we feel adventurous, we like to go on small excursions. While in Phuket, we had one day when we visited the most incredible hidden gem, Freedom Beach. It's just a few minutes away from Patong, and in my opinion, it's the ultimate beach experience we've ever had in our lives. That day, we also fed elephants. This excursion took us about 3 to 4 hours. If you're interested, I can make a video on this adventure. Let me know. On another day, we visited the old town of Phuket and the Big Buddha. Check out my previous video on Phuket to see how it went and learn a little bit about the history of the town and the Big Buddha. This self-guided tour I created took us about 4 hours in total to complete. And this is something I love about Phuket. You can go around the island and have something amazing to do in a matter of a few hours. Except for the island trips though, those do take a whole day. But this is why I would also like to give Phuket Fun a total green score. I think there is a lot to explore and it all seems very accessible. You can go to a mountain, to the jungle, the beach, an island. You can see monkeys, tigers, elephants, cobras, sharks, make friends, eat delicious food, all in a matter of hours. And talking about food, this is one of the things that we love to do everywhere we go as digital nomads, right? Explore new foods. One of our favorite places was an Indian place called Mr. Amirtsi. It is pricey and they only accept cash. But for one meal a day, it's super worth it. And as I said, we do intermittent fasting, so this is just the one meal we have in the whole day. So it's a decent deal for us. There are several other Indian and Middle Eastern restaurants in the area worth trying. There are also many European restaurants and lots of fresh seafood. And of course, there are plenty of affordable Asian good options in the city when it comes to street food and restaurants. Yet, I regret to inform you that I lost the camera where I had all of my clips on street food in Phuket, so I will leave it up to you to discover. I would say though that Patong felt a bit expensive, so be aware of that. Therefore, instead of green, I would give a yellow score for affordability. It may seem affordable, but then by the end of the day, if you do your math, it's not super cheap. As digital nomads, we have to work and travel, but mostly work. Nonetheless, we made an effort to get a taste of the nightlife. At least in Patong, the nightlife seems to be limited to wild, crazy, and a spark of bizarre. I'm sure there are also chill activities that you can carry out at the beach or so. I would have to experience the nightlife a bit more to give you an unbiased score, but from what I saw, I think Patong's gotta be a green score for you if you like wild experiences. From what I learned, the options in Patong are drag shows, ping pong shows, bars, clubs, shooting, eating a lot of food, and getting drunk. Something else to note is that the dating scene seems exciting and so much fun. I promise you, you won't go back home alone unless you want to. In summary, I will give Phuket, specifically Patong, a green score for digital nomads. I think it provides a perfect balance between fun and work, freedom, brain and soul stimulation, and uniqueness. However, I understand that for a long stay, this lifestyle can get a little bit tiring. So on that note, you can always try and stay in more calm areas in Phuket and then come visit Patong whenever you want to have some fun. And one of those areas is Kamala. What are your thoughts on my review? And if you're a digital nomad, do you have any questions? Please let me know.
This is what I'm talking about. This is the beauty of Southeast Asia. I mean, everyone by the ocean, enjoying the sunset, making new friends, eating delicious food. However, ooh, look at this. There we go. Yeah, having the time of your life, like doing the things that you probably won't think of doing just because you are in a place where freedom is implied, and it just feels good. Right now, I'm just open to meeting people, happy to see people, open to talking and having fun. If I was in Miami in this situation, I would be like, no, I can't go out. I can't go out because everyone's gonna judge me. But here in Thailand, no one gives a damn. Everyone's just trying to have a good time, and so far we've been loving Phuket. We knew we were gonna love it because when there's good people and good food, usually you love the rest. So here is a view of the sunset in Phuket on our first day. I hope you enjoyed it.
I'm planning on doing a video on things to do in Phuket, so see you next week.